Hello, Divine Feminine, and welcome to your power message for Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. There's so much power around you right now, especially around things you want to create and manifest and bring into your life. Yesterday we spoke about writing affirmations and, doing them as lines so they go into your mind, and letting go and being okay with the tides of your life as, they ebb and flow, as things leave and come back in. The release and the letting go. So today I want to bring in the Divine Feminine Oracle by Meggan Watterson, because this is a great deck that really does tap in with you and the essence of you and who you are. And, you are so powerful when you're operating in your Divine Feminine power. That means you're being authentic, true to yourself, shining bright. There's nothing more attractive to the Divine Masculine than a Divine Feminine in true power. So let's see what we need to know. So thank you, angels. What's the message? So the first card coming up is the Divine Mother. So you're being reminded of your power as the Empress. The Empress is really the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother can be Mother Mary. So you are supported by Mother Mary. She holds you during the hard times like a mother and comforts you. And I also feel this about your connection with your biological mother, whether she's passed over or she's still here. This is about healing energies. It's about forgiveness. It's about release. And it's about knowing that you are loved. It says unconditional love exists within me. So your twin lives within you. And it's a very unconditional love that you share. And when we are living this human life as a spiritual being, we learn that it's only the ego that causes all the problems. The ego causes fear. The ego causes struggle. The ego causes pain. And when we learn to overcome that, we give away the conditioning and we focus on the unconditional element of it. It's like when we know that we are one with God and all things and part of the bigger picture, we trust the universe, knowing that the universe is a limitless, vast universe. The only limits are created in our mind through society, programming, conditioning, the things we've grown up believing, and, the struggle we go through in our own minds. It says the pressure, and they give me the word pressure, because there may be pressure around that needs to be released. And yesterday we picked up on the masculines being like a volcano that's about to explode. So that's also a pressure. But he says the presence of love is the absence of judgment. So we can put pressure on ourselves because we want the presence of love in a physical way, but the presence of the love that you two share is always there. Why? Because it's within, because you are one. So when you close your eyes and, you really connect back with yourself and you let the ego fall away, you realize that separation is illusion, time is illusion, and conditions can also be illusion. Because this is the unconditional love. So the presence of love, that's when you know you are loved. You feel the love. You're connecting with the love. You feel your twin all around you. You feel the love of heaven. You feel blessed by the universe. Then the absence of judgment. So in other words, you no longer care what people think. You stop taking things personally. And you stop judging them for the time they are taking or the way they've behaved, or the things that they've done, because you realize through love, through responding with love, seeing with the eyes of love, that everything has grown your soul. So again, this really resonates with the message we did yesterday. But I feel the Divine Mother here, this is Sarada Devi, but I feel the Divine Mother is Mother Mary coming to you saying, I am offering love to you. Love is all around you. All you have to do is pay attention to the signs that you see and open your heart to this love. And it's so true, when we're operating in love, we see it and feel it and discover it and explore it everywhere we go. And that's when life becomes magical. Life becomes a grand adventure because we're going outdoors and we're seeing signs. We may go out in the street and there's a billboard, something about union. You guys are constantly emailing me pictures that you see when you're out and about. And it just blows my mind because, I see them and it just warms my heart that you see them too. Someone messaged me and showed me she was on the motorway or the highway we call the motorways here in the UK, and there was a big lorry or a big truck, and it said something about, you being protected, your dreams are being protected, and the lorry itself was, or the company was called Union, and it was just mind-blowing. These signs blow my mind, and it's really powerful as well, because I'm watching certain things right now that resonate with me in the journey of the twin flames that you just wouldn't think would have anything to do with it. I'm watching Suits, and there's twin flame signs in there. There's also things about manifesting and creating what you want. I'm watching Doctor Who with George, and there's so many signs in there about true love and destiny and coming back together, and the time things take and how amazing it is, and that what's meant to be will be regardless of timing. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So we have to believe, and then we achieve. And we've got Dakini, the enlightened feminine. So these are all things you realise on your journey that help you to become enlightened. And what is enlightenment? It's knowingness. It's feeling above the 3D world. It's seeing more. It's being aware. It's like when Neo awakes from the Matrix, and he just knows. Even in the Matrix, he knows. You've always had a knowingness in you, even before you were awake and aware in this lifetime, that you were different than other people, that there was something special about you. And that may have come to you in a crazy way. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe people made fun of you, called you weird or crazy or loopy. And that also made you question who you are and why you've come. But it also enhanced your power, and it made you strong. So it's not that you were loopy or weird or crazy. You just were already standing out from the crowd and not dimming your light to fit in with others. So even at school, primary school, high school, even in kindergarten, you were doing things different than everybody else, because you are here for a reason as a leader of love and light, and you are an enlightened feminine. And remember, if you've got kids and your kids are being bullied or picked on, or people are calling them weird or special or loopy, wow, it shows how powerful they are and what's ahead for them. So remember, people, are afraid of what they don't understand, and they can make fun of those people and push them out of circles, but this is all happening for the higher good. Why would your children, or why would you want to be around people like that? And the enlightened feminine says, my gut instinct is wise beyond measure. And it is. Wise beyond reason, wise beyond measure. So you may not be able to explain it sometimes, but you just know. Your gut instinct, your solar plexus has power. So this is why when you know something's happening, you feel it in the belly. We have the gut instinct about it, the intuition. You feel it, you get excited. You may find you're having stomach gurgling, or your stomach starts rumbling, or you just have butterflies in your stomach, or maybe you're running the loo, or you're constipated, or something's going on. Your stomach responds to what's going on in you. It's like when something feels off to you or bad, because you get a sense of dread. It's like your stomach's fell out. It's like everything's fell out. So your gut talks to you. And that's why they call it the gut for a reason, the gut instinct. So this is the knowingness of who you are. This is your gift as a light worker. This is why you're here, because you see beyond and feel beyond the physical realms. I trust my intuition to guide me. And that's what you've always done. And that's why people have called you weird or strange or different, because you've always known there's something else going on. You've been able to feel and sense things that other people may not have been able to feel or sense. And that's the enlightened feminine within you trying to come out. So I trust my intuition to guide me. I mean, that's such a great affirmation to use anyway, as we go throughout our life, because when you listen to and trust in your intuition, you know exactly what to do, because you are enlightened. It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from the light. The light is embodied within you. And we've got Shekinah, the presence of the divine feminine. The presence. So the presence as in you being here now in this physical body, in this physical life, you are present, and you are in this energy where you embody the presence of the angels and your twin and everyone who ever has been, will be, and is. You realize that you don't lose anyone, you carry them with you. Like I constantly say to you, my mum lives through me. She lives on through me in my life. So she lives in me. So we never lose anyone. We gain them back in a different way. And this is also about the present of the divine feminine. So I'm also feeling presence and present, as in you are a gift. You are a gift to humanity. You are a gift to the creator. You are a gift to your twin. You are a gift, and that's the gift that you've been given this life, to understand that and to enjoy all the gifts that you were given, and enjoying the presence of being here in the here and now, and the presence of angels and understanding and being enlightened. It says, at the center of everything, there is light. Now, at the center of you, there is light within you, because that's who you are. You are liquid light, liquid love. But at the center of you is your heart, and your heart operates in light and love. So this is also about being open and lightening the load and feeling at peace. And I am that light. So the angel's saying, you're that light. Everyone has the same opportunities, the same tools. You may even have the same job as someone else, but it's up to you how your light brings those unique qualities out of you, and that makes you unique and special. And going back to school again, maybe some of you are going back to school again. This is important to know, because no matter how old we are, there's always bullies, and there's always crazies, and there's always people out there who want to dim the light and knock you off your path and distract you from your journey and your mission. But you see through that as the enlightened feminine. But this is about, you're given the same tools as other students at school, or other colleagues at work, but you learn through your light how to use them to your advantage. And this is the same with, someone said to me, they don't like using things like tarot cards and these kind of occult tools. They much prefer a Bible. But it's not the tool itself, it's the person using the tool that brings in the light or the dark. You could easily have a person with a Bible promoting the darkness, whereas you could have a person using a deck of cards that promotes the goodness too. So remember, it's not the tool. Don't have fear around a tool thinking something's wrong. If you're operating in light and love as an enlightened feminine, if you're doing good work, if you're connecting with God, if you're speaking to the angels, if you're helping others, guiding others, being in this power, surely you know that that's a good thing, and that's a bridge to the Creator. If you're using cards and bringing in negatives and omens of death and being nasty and making everyone feel bad, or you're judging people and sending out hate, or you're Bible bashing where you're saying everything is wrong and everything's a sin and you're judging everything, is that really a bridge to God, or is that a bridge to darkness? Because when we operate in those lower energies, we're operating in the devil's territory, where demons can come in. In other words, the ego, all the fear can hold you down and cause pain and struggle, and that can take you down a dark path into addiction and real darkness. So you have to look at it from your perspective. Doesn't matter what people say you should or should not be doing, or what people say a light worker is or isn't. You know your truth. I have a very deep bond with Jesus, yet I use cards. That doesn't mean I'm going to go into the pits of hell. It means I understand what I'm doing with these tools that I have been given. It's like when people say to me, oh, you worship angels. I don't worship angels. All glory goes to God in the highest. I appreciate the angels because they are messengers of God, but God created those angels. And God created the angels to help out humanity. That's why they were made in the first place, to help out humanity. So it's only fitting that we talk to the angels, especially if we have a really troublesome connection with God, or we don't know how to connect with God, or we don't understand if we should connect with God. So the angels are a bridge to him. The angels are a bridge to Jesus, whomever you believe in. So remember, it's about what you believe that's real. And it's about how you feel about what you're doing that matters, not what people say you should or should not be doing right now. So let's bring in the book today. So, beautiful message yesterday. Let's see what we've got today. And it says 11, remember. And it's not only 11, it's 11-1. 111, which is also a big message in 2023, that you were ready. You're ready for what's ahead, to believe, and to know that God would not give you anything that you can't handle. And when we see 11:11 on the clock, it's a big message about awakening and about being enlightened and in your power and being present in the now. So sometimes we see 11:11, even if we've been awake for years and years and years, we see 11:11 because we may be overthinking something or not paying attention, or we may be in fear, or we may not be in the now. We see 11:11 to bring us back into the now. So the message is let go. And sometimes we see 11:11 when we need to let go. Or we see 111 when we need to breathe and believe and let go. It says, when you wish to control situations or people, including yourself, it's simply a sign of fear and distrust. And they give me fear. Fear about when, if, how, all the questioning. Yet when we question things and we go through doubt, it also helps us to find our faith. And as a divine feminine, one of the main lessons we have to learn in this lifetime is to let go of control. And if you've always been a controller, where you've liked to have a schedule, you've liked things done a certain way, your journey as a twin flame will test you. And your journey with your masculine will bring up triggers for healing, even when you're in union, because you like things a certain way. I do. I lived alone for a long time before I was with George. So I got into a set routine. I did things a certain way. And even now I'll do things or say things and he'll be like, just let go of that control. And he sees the funny side of things. And sometimes the control issues within me rear up in a way where I do get triggered sometimes and we will have a little argument. But usually it's resolved within 2 minutes. It's so funny when we have an argument. We look back and we think, what were we even arguing about? We did it the other day. We went out shopping and it was so funny when I think about it. Those stupid arguments. We were in the car and we'd been food shopping and I wanted a hot chocolate. So we didn't want to go in. We wanted to get back home. So we went through the drive-through and, obviously George is the driver. I'm in the passenger seat. So he asked for what I wanted. He didn't have anything. He asked for what I wanted. And he said, have you got your card ready? And I said, no, I want to pay cash. And he says, you can't pay cash. It's card only. And I said, no. I said, you can pay cash or card. And he was like, no, it's card only. And we were having this really silly dispute about it because I was saying, yes, you can. Because I was trying to control and do what I wanted to do. And he was saying, just get your card out. It's easier. But it ended up turning into a full-blown row before we'd even got to where you pay. And it turns out you could pay cash. So when we got home, we just argued all the way home. And then we got to the front door and just both burst out laughing. And, we got in the house and we were just hugging and kissing. And we were like, what was even the point of that? But sometimes there's pent-up energy within that has to come out some way. And some little thing can trigger it. Okay, that has no relevance on anything. So sometimes these things come out, but when you're in union, you'll find that you rarely argue. And when you do, it's something so small, it's something over so small, it's forgotten like that. So remember, we heal everything we need to heal before union. So when we're in union, we don't split up, or we don't do things that cause a separation or cause panic. And that's also what they want me to share today. So I am loving doing these divine feminine readings because I do feel that now they're more intense and more in depth because that's what they guided me to do. And I'm also sharing my experiences with you too. So have compassion when this tendency shows up in yourself or someone else. In other words, when you're trying to control something or people, have compassion for yourself. And also have compassion for others. Remember, they may not do things your way because they are teaching you to let go of that control. That's a teacher. They are a teacher to you, and you are a student in that moment. And you also teach them, because if you respond with love and compassion, you are teaching them what true kindness is and what true divine feminine enlightenment is. Know that you or this other individual simply needs reassurance that the universe is orderly and trustworthy. So when we say, I trust you, universe, all is well in my world, the universe has my back, you're affirming that you believe in God, because God knows all, sees all, and does all for our higher good. Nurturing, soothing love is the remedy for these issues. That means soothing yourself, nurturing yourself, loving yourself, being at peace with things, being in the flow, being in the now, bringing yourself back into the present moment, or the presence of the I am energy, which is the energy of God. After all, the person who tries to have power over everything often feels out of control, and that's true. And that's why when we go into separation or stillness, however you're calling it, but when we go into separation, we panic so much because we can't control it. And that's why it feels so scary. But that's also the best time we learn and grow, because there's nothing we can do about it. And when I was dealing with this really powerfully before union with a catalyst, I got blocked by him on every single platform. And it was the most scary thing I ever went through, because I just couldn't do anything about anything. I couldn't sort it out in any way because I was blocked on absolutely everything. And, the only thing I could do was surrender. And obviously I had a lot of pain at that time. I wanted to give up. I even thought about suicide during that time. It was very, very painful for me. But it was also one of my biggest life lessons. And that person is one of my greatest teachers. And I have so much respect for him for actually doing that. But the point is, and he unblocked me eventually. But it was the panic that set in, because it just felt so out of control. And what they're actually guiding me to is like there's something on the end of the nose. There's nothing there. But sometimes we can't see past the end of our own nose. In other words, we're so involved in what's going on in our own life and in this moment, we can't see the bigger picture. That when we get separated in that way, or when we get blocked in that way, so we can give back to ourselves. And at that time, with that catalyst, I was giving everything to him. Money, I was giving him attention, advice, energy, support, love, everything I was giving to him, and I was giving nothing to myself. I was not spending much time around people I knew because I was just so involved in what was going on. So it was a big wake-up call from the angels saying, whoa, this has happened to protect you from draining yourself entirely and having nothing to give. You have to get back up on your feet, warrior. You have to stand up, soldier. That was Archangel Michael speaking to me, giving me an energetic kick up the backside to look after me. Because I was putting everything at him before everything. And you can't do that on this journey. You have to put yourself, on that list too. So that's also powerful to know. We can help and intervene by surrounding the entire situation with our clear-eyed vision of a desirable outcome. So when anything what you perceive to be negative or unfavourable or bad happens to you, because remember, everything that happens is neutral, it's the way we see it that makes it good or bad, see a favourable outcome. So in other words, when I got blocked on every platform, I saw it in such a negative way, it stripped me of my power. Now, if I'd have seen it in a positive way, because being blocked itself and going through that was actually neutral, it was the way I reacted to it that made it all bad. If I'd have responded to it with love and have seen it for what it was, which I did eventually when I calmed down and relaxed and let go and talked to the angels and realised I would survive, I'm not going to die, it's okay, and I'm not going to give up my life, which has been so beautifully given to me by God, and I've chose to come here. So I had to see it in a different way. Then I realised it was protection, so it became a good thing. So that's what you need to know too, that whenever something happens to you, It's happening for you no matter how you perceive it, because perception creates reality. So if you're looking at something right now thinking it's so bad, it's negative, change it, because you have that power now. It's actually neutral. It's the way you see it that tweaks it towards a positive thing. So clear-eyed vision of a desirable outcome or an account of it. So that means as well, if something's happened and you wished it had happened differently, go through it in your mind again with the desirable outcome that you wished had happened, and then that also sets an intention out to the universe. That means you don't go over and over and over it and drive yourself mad and bring up regret and if onlys. It means you just see it a different path. How it could have gone if maybe you'd have reacted, or should I say responded in a positive way. Or if your masculine had responded in a positive way instead of maybe getting triggered or going into fear. And then as the archer, which we all are, even though archer energy is Sagittarius energy, we all have the archer within us. We all embody, as the magician in the tarot, we embody all the elements of the zodiac within ourselves, even though we may, resonate more with one sign than another. But we all have archer energy in us. So that means we all have the ability to see a desired outcome. That means we all have the ability to focus on the end result with unwavering faith. Just like, an archer pulls back the bow and the arrow to focus on the target and then, hit that target. So this is you knowing that. And it's really powerful actually, because where we live quite close by to a pub called the Archer. Now, obviously we don't go in there, but we drive past it, I walk past it. And whenever I see it, it just makes me feel very blessed that I can see that to remind me to stay focused on the end result. And that's really about manifesting. If you want to manifest in your life, focus on the end result. So if your trust has been shaken, and it will get shaken on this journey, you can guarantee that, and you feel the need for ironclad guarantees, lean upon our unwavering faith. So in other words, if you need an ironclad guarantee, the angels will send you a sign or a synchronicity or a number sequence or something that buoys your faith. We can refuel your own with our unlimited supply. And that's what happens. As I said, when I was going through that big, huge separation where I got blocked on everything, I had to refuel. And the angels knew that. I really knew that inside, but I was afraid of letting go and I was scared. But the angels refueled me. And the angels will give you what you need. So remember, if it's a rejection, it's a redirection. If it's a delay, it's happening for a reason. If it's a block, there's a reason. Everything happens to serve your soul. You see, we know, this is the angel speaking to you, we know that everything will turn out well for you and that love and divine order are completely in charge. And that's the truth. And when you tap into your energy as an enlightened feminine, you know that too. And the stronger you get, the more experiences you have, the wiser you get. And then you understand that knowledge. So whenever you get tested or triggered or a challenge comes in, you can handle it much better. It doesn't mean you don't go into fear or panic or you don't cry or get offended or, go through these things, but you deal with it quicker. So you don't wallow in that energy for long. You pick yourself up and you fight because you chose to come here. The more you're aware of this truth, the more peaceful you'll feel. And with peace comes the knowledge that everything truly is under control. So you don't need to control things because God is. You don't need to worry about things because God sorts everything out. Let him do the worrying on your behalf, not that he worries. But in other words, if you worry, give it to God. When we ask, it is given. And when we pray, we hand it over. Prayer is actually about asking for help. And the most powerful thing is, I remember once, I'll tell you another little story about me, but I actually went down to London when my sister lives in London and we don't speak a lot. We're very, very different beings. And, when she was married to her husband, me and her husband didn't really get on or see eye to eye. And this was years before I was awakened as a divine feminine. And he actually went through a very powerful spiritual awakening. And that's actually when I started getting to know him a bit better as a person. And, I don't really see him or anything like that a lot, or, this is going back years and years. But there was one particular time when I had to go down to London for something, and I was actually seeing my sister at that time, but something happened work-wise where she wasn't available, so I couldn't see her, and I actually ended up spending time with him instead, which was a complete turnaround. So I wasn't on the vibration. The point I'm making is, at the time, I wasn't on the vibrational frequency to spend time with her, but I was on the vibrational frequency to spend time with him, because he was actually going through a spiritual awakening. And that's why me and my sister have always struggled. We've always had a struggling connection, because I operate in a higher vibration, and most of the time she's operating in a lower vibration. And like attracts like, so you're not going to attract in if you're not operating on the same wavelength. But at this time, me and Adam, we're ex-husband now, we were operating on the same frequency. And it was actually to go to something at church for Sophia, my little niece at the time, and she's 21 now, but she was young, and we went to the church service, and I was just blown away at the time, because he was talking about the guy, the priest guy, he was talking about prayer. And I just felt like I had a bit of an enlightenment experience in that moment. And I went through a bit of an epiphany, because he was talking about prayer. And obviously I know about prayer, but he was talking about what amen means. At the end of a prayer, when you say amen, it actually means thank you. It means thank you, thank you. And whatever other people say about it, that's what he said in this particular, speech he was making. And it really resonated with me. It blew my mind at the time, because I was like, wow. So really, when you're praying, you are asking, and you're being grateful for what you're already asking for, which we do when we're manifesting as well. But how powerful. And as Jesus said, when we ask, it is given. And, obviously, if any of you practice scripture, or you understand the Bible a lot better than I do, that's the truth anyway. But when we pray, we're really asking for help. That's all it is. And at the end, when we say amen, we are thanking God for what we've asked for. And when we pray, we may pray in different ways. We may ask the universe for what we want, but we say thank you after, which is really an amen. So it's really giving thanks for God for the things we want to bring in and the help that we receive. Isn't that powerful? So the thought for today is, I know that these circumstances are completely under control. I trust that this is a fair and divinely ordered universe, and the infinite wisdom of God has already brought the perfect outcome to this situation. Isn't that beautiful? So that's about trusting that it's already resolved. And the angel who helps to resolve things and create the way to resolve things and to bring in harmony within your relationship and your connection with all is Archangel Raguel. He is the harmonizer of heaven. So if you want to bring harmony into your connection, if you want to resolve anything, if you want to come back together quicker, if you want to feel more at peace with things, call on Archangel Raguel and he will create the way. It's amazing. I remember once I fell out with somebody and I really wanted to sort it out. This was a friend at the time, a female friend, and I really wanted to sort it out. But there was no way, because I was stubborn, she was stubborn, and I called on Archangel Raguel, and the next day I went to get something from the shop. And at the exact time I went, I was going into the shop and she was coming out of the shop. So it was a head-on collision and there was nothing we could do but face each other and sort things out. And Archangel Raguel did that. If I'd have waited a bit longer and not gone out at that time, or she had, we wouldn't have come into contact. So everything is divinely orchestrated. There's no random, there's no coincidence. Everything has a divine plan. I hope this helps. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.